everybody. Welcome to the leadership call for Wednesday night. And Peter Mingles reminded me today was Wednesday. And I was lost in somewhere, translation, I don't know. But welcome to the call, and this is going to be a very exciting call because we've got some fantastic and amazing people on this call tonight, and I can't even go down the line. I'm going to turn that over to Dawn Wright Olivares, our leader, and she's going to tell us all about it and who it is and what we're going to do. And so, Dawn, please take it over.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Molinari. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here. And, guys, this is a really special call. We've never done it in the history of the company. And today, as I was expressing to the 4 o'clock people that, you know, you guys sold out our red carpet event for August in less than 28 minutes. And we're humbled and grateful for that kind of an experience with you guys. You honor us always, and your loyalty, and you sticking it through with us every step of the way, and over the bumps in the road, and through this massive mega growth expansion that we've been doing, leaves us speechless sometimes. And I know that, you know, Paul and I kind of giggle like, wow, they came to see us, you know, like, why? We just do the job. And we've recently had some really incredible people that have come on board, and some really intense but impeccable and necessary expansion and changes and additions to our team. And I believe Mr. Paul Burks has graced us with his presence. Are you here, Paul?
Dawn, he might be, but in the muting out everybody, he might have to hit *6 if he's on the line.
Okay. Paul, hit *6. All my speakers hit *6 just to make sure. You there, Paul?
I am now.
All right. Excellent advice, Peter. All right, so, Paul, why don't you go ahead and you kick off this call?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Dawn. I am honored to be here tonight, and so many of you. Goodness, it's always overwhelming when I get on these calls and I hear hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people calling in from all over the world, and I wonder how in the world did this happen. And I think part of the answer to that question is the reason for our call tonight. And I just want to take a few minutes, and then I'm going to vanish and leave the rest of this to be managed by the wonderful people that are in charge of all of it. The history that led up to this is because we started this company from scratch, pretty much, about 2 years ago, and the person that was right there at my side making things happen, there were several people that were actively involved, but the one that was in that trench with me every day, making Zeke into a reality from just an idea, was the lady that introduced me, and that's Dawn Wright Olivares. And she is probably the most amazing person that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. And it's because of Dawn that we have seen so much of the phenomenal growth that has taken place in the last 2 years with this company, these companies, because there's more than one. And I want to just give her all of the praise and credit that is due. It's not even possible to put into words what she has done to bring this company from an idea into the kind of reality that has attracted those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you that are on this call, and many, many hundreds of thousands of others who are not on the call, because no call can handle everybody. But I am so proud to be associated with this lady and with what she has done for this company. I want to start with a little bit of the background of how she got into the picture, into the role that she's in, because Dawn is and has been associated with the Rex Venture Group and our company for about 12 years, 13 years now, a long time. And she came aboard as a marketing and creative and I'm not even sure what the term, Dawn, that you like to use, because she was the one who came up. She's the one that came up with the ideas that we implemented in the company way back then, with ideas for portals and websites and promotional ideas and things to make stuff happen. And I learned very, very quickly that she was just an endless fountain of creative knowledge and ability. And when Ziegler came onto the scene, and Ziegler Awards later, Dawn was the one who made all of that really happen. She came up with idea after idea after idea, more than I could even deal with sometimes. I mean, she would just load me up with, we need to do this. What if we did this? What if we did this? And I would say sometimes, Dawn, slow down. I can't think as fast as you do. And I couldn't, but she just was an amazing fountain of creative energy and juice. And over the months that followed, we captivated as much of that as we possibly could and used it. And then the company's explosive growth started taking place, and her role became more and more and more expansive and more into different things that needed to be done. And we expanded as the company grew. We expanded her role, and she stepped into the shoes that didn't exist prior to that. We gave her the title of COO, Chief Operating Officer, because somebody had to do that job. And Dawn was, at that time, I felt the only one that knew enough, had enough background in the company, not only in Zeke, but in Rex Venture Group, to be able to operate in that capacity at that level of growth that we were experiencing. So she sort of had to leave a lot of the tasks that were her first love into the role of being the overall overseer of the managed growth of the company, which became completely unmanageable. And it grew and grew and grew. And Dawn just amazingly stepped into that role and did what had to be done. And it grew like nothing that any of us had ever seen. And at some point, we started discussing the fact that we needed more and more top quality, high level, management level people to take us from that entrepreneurial phase where it was just, Dawn and I and a handful of other people, Daryl and Roger and Rebecca and the others that had been with us for the whole duration. And we needed to bring some quality management people aboard that understood things like, spreadsheets and financial reports and those things that at the entrepreneurial level, you just don't get into that much of it. And so that was another job that Dawn stepped into, is trying to help find the people to do those jobs. And you're going to meet some of those people on the call tonight that Dawn brought into the picture, and then some of the people that those people brought into the picture. But now, finally, we have put together that core group of top-level management people that I believe are going to be able to take Ziegler Awards and Ziegler to the next level, and that's to the goals that so many of you have for this to become the next billion-dollar-plus company. And I'm very, very excited about working with this group, and I'm particularly excited to see that now that role that Dawn did so incredibly well that she's had to pull herself away from, we can push more of that back onto her plate because she does it better than anybody, and that's the marketing and product development, leadership development, communication with the field, those kinds of tasks that are so important that so many of you have begged us to give us more Dawn, get Dawn writing more articles and communicating with the field and helping develop new products and helping expand the auctions. And these are the things that Dawn loves and that we love working with her on. And we're gladly now able to share some of the workload that she has handled so well with some other people that can help her with that and free her up to use more of her time for those things that she's so sorely needed for. So with that said, Dawn, if there's anything else you want from me, otherwise I'm going to turn this back to you and let you do some introductions of some of these incredible people that are now part of the Zeek experience.
Okay, sure. I thank you so much. I didn't expect all of that from you, and I had to recover a little bit, but thank you very much, kind sir. That was amazing.
You deserve it more than anyone I know of.
Thanks. So, if anyone questions why this man has had my career by his side for the past 13 years, there's no question as to why every single person here is here. And I know that you have a lot you have to do before you get to lay your weary head down on a pillow tonight, sir. So you go ahead, and I'm going to cut you loose, and then I'm going to introduce them to the new family members.
Thanks, Paul. Thank all of you for joining us on the call tonight, and I wish all of you the very, very best. You're all wonderful, and I love every one of you.
Thanks, B. Okay, so that's hard to follow because everybody who has gathered for this project has rolled up their sleeves, and from the brand GNU to the people who have been touching this project for the past year and have grown further and further into stronger and stronger roles. There's just a lot of people that many of you have not had the opportunity to meet at Red Carpet, and this past Red Carpet, Paul had everybody there. We didn't have Josh there. We had our brand new COO, our acting COO. I don't know what that means. He's taken it all on like Hercules is what it is. So I'm going to go in order, and I'm going to actually let some of these people have a moment to speak, and we'll go from there. And first and foremost, I want to introduce Greg Caldwell because it was, I think, January of this year where I was on the phone with Kevin Grimes, who, the minute I started working with Kevin, I asked Paul if we could please retain Kevin. I don't think he's here on this call tonight, but truly one of the most incredible educators in the legal profession. He's an attorney, and he's hired by us as an attorney, but I have never worked with legal counsel that truly sat and educated me so that my marketing mind could grasp the law and then figure the Rubik's Cube out to the perfect combination as Kevin Grimes. And so the minute I started to work with Kevin, he was just giving me all of this amazing advice and education on him because we were coming on board with his compliance course. And one of the first things he said to me was, when I said there is nothing more important to this company than to being fully compliant, to teaching the field, to making sure they're compliant, and that we follow the letter of the law every step of the way. We've been in business a really long time. We are not people who cut corners. We will do anything you tell us to do. What's the first thing? What's the second thing? What's everything that we need to do? And the first thing out of his mouth was, you need Greg Caldwell. And I don't think I even hung up before I was calling Greg Caldwell and leaving him a message. And since the day I met him, he came out to our home and sat down with myself and Dan and Alex, and it's a pretty tough family. Our family is like, we're like, we sniff around people. We're like, who are you and why are you here? But Greg was a unanimous decision. He was voted onto the island permanently with us, and I went immediately to Paul and said, this is the guy. And he flew out and he met Paul, and Paul agreed. And he's been working with us for months. And Greg's role in many companies is to come in as acting COO and to put stuff together from the entrepreneurial phase, put the compliance departments together, put the company together into the large corporate structure reality, because when you're an entrepreneur, and as Paul was stating, hey, Dee, Paul, do we have somebody? No, you do it. Okay. And that's how COO happened for me. Okay, it's not how it happened for Greg. and I think the first time I met him, I'm like, you want to be COO? so it's an absolute honor. I am thrilled to introduce Greg Caldwell. Greg, why don't you tell these people a little bit about you?
Oh my gosh, thank you very much, Don. I appreciate that intro. Very briefly, I have such a dichotomous background to what I'm doing now. I'm a licensed private investigator who has specialized in corporate investigations and security management consulting and compliance now for about 38 years. And 12 years ago, got involved in the direct sales business and started building compliance departments and learning the industry and really realizing there's a lot of people who are really trying to do things the right way, and a lot of companies that are trying to do it the right way. When I met Paul and I met Don, I knew those were two people who are just committed to making sure this was a compliant company all the way. And I've been very fortunate along the way to take over, as Don said, as COO of a couple of companies and build the internal infrastructure. And that's I was invited recently to do that with Rex Venture Group, and I'm proud to do it. I have to step back a little bit and tell you that I put myself through college playing music as an entertainer, and there's a couple of things you learn as an entertainer that you don't want to follow as an act, and that's usually kids and animals. I would also add that Dawn is one of those. She did a phenomenal job putting the foundation in place. So it's kind of easy for me to come in and really build this and finish the task that everyone else started. Kind of tie it all together and wrap it up in a nice little ribbon and hand it to you guys. We have some exciting things that we're working on that I have the time to that Dawn never did. Although she made the introduction, she made the connections. We're really working on some things that are going to, I think, be very exciting to listen to Dawn in the future and how she rolls these things out. As far as marketing and product development, we couldn't have a better person doing that. So I'm happy to be with this company right now, and I think it's just an exciting opportunity for everyone. Thanks, Don.
Thank you so much, Greg. And, Greg, I know that this is going to be a little out of order, but you are who brought Josh onto the team. And I know that, I got the introduction to Scott, who introduced you to Josh, but you really know Josh. And I've had the pleasure of getting to work with him and know him. And just super quick, guys, Danny and I came on board with Paul 13 years ago, and Dan and I developed software together. And then Dan and Dawn came and did that for Paul, and I would work with Dan, and Dan would create magic. And, well, as all of you know, for many of you know, Dan and the word day off is kind of laughable, and he's been under, this massive, massive load over the past many, many months, or at least even 2 years, Dan was the sole guy, the fireman of all technology, the creator of everything. All that is Zeek has been masterfully created through his programming skills. And Dan, you're here, right? I think he's here. He's muted.
I'm here. Thank you.
There he is.
There he is.
So Dan has been here, right here, 150% carrying the load, and him and I have been, we've had our days, and I know that we're giddy about the fact that Josh has come on board. And today I called Josh and said, I need you to do something for the Z-Bates launch. Can you help me? And, hey, Josh, would you mind? And Dan and I have really been celebrating the arrival of Mr. Josh Galloway. So, Greg, why don't you tell these people a little bit about Josh, how you guys met, and then we'll give Josh the microphone for a minute.
Well, very briefly, Dan not only hasn't had a day off, I'm not sure you've let him out of his room.
No, I haven't. I give him food, Greg.
He is okay.
I do. I get Pop-Tarts and all the normal technical food that they give you.
People, I don't think anybody, unless you've been in business and you know what IT people do, have an appreciation for how hard Dan has worked. And what we tried to do when I was brought on is to find him some help. And I actually hired two people and sent them down to visit Dan, and they stumbled out of there with glassy eyes and said, we don't know how he does it. So we needed some higher level, and I did some research and looking around and ran into Josh Galloway. And Josh has a phenomenal background. He has the not only rolling up his sleeves and getting down in the trenches, but at the 30,000-foot level of project management. He understands Dan perfectly. I think he's been there, maybe not at a company like Zeek. I'm not sure anybody has, but he has an absolute appreciation for what Dan has done, and they have just they've met, they've liked one another. Josh brings a phenomenal amount of senior project management, again from the 30,000-foot level, and I think we're just tickled pink to have Josh Galloway with us. Josh?
Well, thank you very much, and thanks to Don and to Dan for inviting me into the family.
I do want to add, I'm sorry, Josh, I do want to add one thing. Josh is the only person that we know that you'll talk to in the Atlantic time zone.
That's not true. There's a few of us out here.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess I'm going to give you a little bit of my history. I come from, where Dan's at. I started off, I was a basement coder. I used to hide in the room and code on the computer all the time. That's what I wanted to do. I was lucky enough to be put in positions where companies were growing, and my role expanded, and I was lucky enough that my last gig was a company that I took from a tiny little startup all the way up to a 13 product platform. That experience was just wonderful. So I got contacted by Greg, and I was told about this company called Zeek, which, to be honest, I hadn't heard of. So I did a little research, and the energy and excitement online about this company was, contagious. I was like, wow, these guys want me to be involved with this. So, of course, I said, sure, I'll come down and meet you guys. All excited, go down to North Carolina, and I start meeting the people who do this day in and day out. And my excitement turned to me being very humble. All of these people, day in, day out, they live this. Every person that calls in, every email they get, every person they talk to at the office, the personal family member. These people bend over backwards to make sure everything works great. And since I started day one, everyone's like, how can we help you? I mean, that's Paul, that's Don. There's nobody that doesn't have time to help me make the system better. And that's just what I'm here to do, and that's what I'm so excited to be part of. So thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Josh. And I got to tell you guys, for those of you who know that I absolutely love doing what Paul was talking about, this has been killing me. The new face of Zeekler and the auction expansions and the Z-Bates and what can we do and what can we hit it out of the park with next and why didn't we, buff it up and make it prettier and this and that and the other thing. And I have had such joy for the past couple of weeks saying, you're going to have to talk to Greg about that. Hey, Josh, is there anything you could do to help me with this? And so the assets that these guys bring and the skill sets and their experience have just been amazing. And it's such a huge load off to know that Dan's going to work with me on this new product stuff and the member-to-member auctions and the things that you guys have been, like, banging on the door saying, hey, you said you were going to, or hey, when are you going to do this? That's what we're working on right now. So Z-Bates is well underway. We've got that's due to launch here in August at the next red carpet. We're hoping that we're going to be able to make that thing kick off. And we're working on promotionals and all of this amazing stuff. And And there's one thing that I got to tell you that in the past 6 months that I found out that I absolutely hated doing. Miss Angie Fiebernitz has come on board to manage. And, like, I never touched the money. It's never been my thing. I never lived in Lexington. You guys, you've sent faxes and thanked me profusely for the stuff that David and Dama and all those guys are doing over there. And they come and they're like, oh, all-powerful and wonderful Dawn, thanks for all that hard work that I'm doing. And they look at me funny. So I always have to give them the plug that it's David and Dama and all those people there that are working really, really hard for you over there. But thanks for thinking it's me, because if I could do it, I would. And so over the past several months, from the credit card processing stuff and creating the fraud department and getting involved with processors and the banks and the e-wallets and stuff, I have such an honor for what a chief financial officer would do, because it's never been something I've even dabbled a pinky toe in, and it's something I only dabbled a very small pinky toe in and went, oh, I'm allergic to this. Spreadsheets? Are you kidding me? I have duplicate checks. I can't even balance a checkbook. And then this beautiful woman, and I'm saying she's absolutely beautiful inside and out, Miss Angie Fiebernitz comes in the door. And, you know, the first day she was there, you know, big hoity-toity chief financial officer title, you know, she's sitting back with 3 data processors in the back room we converted because we're moving into our 27,000 square foot warehouse facility, and we're crammed up on top of each other. Everybody's working around the clock, and she just rolled up her sleeves. It didn't even faze her, and she went right to work. And her energy is absolutely committed, and I just see it in her eyes and in everything that she does. And so far, I really just have been enjoying her presence. So, Miss Angie, would you please tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I will. Can you hear me okay, Dawn?
We can hear you good, Angie. Oh.
Dawn? Hi?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, glad to be here. Okay. Yes, it's so exciting to be a part of this team. From day one, everyone has made me feel part of the family, and no different from that. But, yes, prior to coming on board here, I was a professor at Western Carolina University and dealt with each semester about 175 students. So I'm accustomed to chaos to a certain degree, but all the same, as much as I love teaching, it was time to get back into the saddle again. And prior to my days of teaching, I was a corporate controller at Insteel. But a lot of folks might ask the question, well, what does a CFO do exactly? And I've come on to this with a clean slate and just said, what do you guys need for me to do? Where do you need me? But one of the most critical things for any company is that we issue financial statements timely and accurately. Without that, I call them scorecards. Without the scorecards, it's almost like playing a football game when no one knows, you know, what a touchdown is worth or what the score is, who's the winners, who's the losers, how can we gauge, you know, how can we better ourselves in certain areas. So everyone, again, I'm just very, very pleased to be a part of this organization, and I'm only maybe 2 weeks old in the company, so I'm a bit of a newcomer, but again, today I went out to the new warehouse, and it just looks great, and everything's just moving along, and I'm just pleased to be here, Dawn.
Thank you so much. And, you know, I always joke when I first got back to home office and I saw the new home office, I claimed the broom closet at the end of the hall under the exit sign. I said, that'll be my office. And I'm like, Angie, you can use that until they finish this move, okay?
Okay. That'll be fine.
You know, people, just to throw it out there, you know, there's always this thing about the big network marketing company, you know, and they're creating monuments unto themselves and millions of dollars worth of these big, beautiful buildings. And, you know, Paul doesn't do that. he's just not that guy. He's lived in the same house. He drives the same car. And I don't know if Roger made it onto this call tonight. And if you did, Roger, chime in because nobody says it better than you do. See if you can get him on Skype so he can chime in on this call. But Roger's been with Paul the longest, and I actually don't think that I Skyped him, so we have to make sure he gets here. But he will tell you from Susan's car is 11 years old, 12 years old. They bought the house, I don't know how many years ago, but way over a decade. They just have an absolute commitment to the field. Okay, that's where everything goes, is to you guys and to the team that is going to make the next thing happen for you guys. And we've all been here a really long time. So, I mean, I was the new kid, okay, just so everybody's clear. I'd go to Lexington, and I was the new person. What are you doing in here telling everybody what to do? That just wasn't even, it wasn't even fathomable that we were expanding and bringing these people on board. And it was a really big decision, okay, a huge decision. And it took some doing, and it took exactly the right people. So what I can tell you is it's just been an absolute joy, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work with these three people. And they're going to do amazing and brilliant things in their roles for this company. And so, just welcome them to this family as wholeheartedly and warmly as you possibly can, because our gratitude holds no bounds as to how we feel about their coming on board and rolling up their sleeves the way that they have. Now, we do have a couple other people that have recently come on board or been promoted into further positions. So I'm just going to throw it out there, and we're going to wrap this call, unless I forgot somebody, because, we've got a big family. But, Danny's here, and he's actually getting to go ahead and focus again as master programmer and really start rocking out new product development. And then Alex just received a promotion from Paul to Executive Director of Training and Support Services, because his excellence in the training sector and this incredible new support community has truly, truly taken Zeke to a completely new level. We've got people going ahead and expressing 150% satisfaction. He's got an entire team of, I don't know how many moderators do you have on there now, Alex?
We have 25 moderators. 25
round-the-clock, 24/7 moderation for the support community. And guys, if you're frustrated with any kind of weight that you might have in personal stuff that you're putting out there to affiliate services, and I know that Greg's flying out to Atlanta and that the expansions are coming along huge and the training, and we're bringing more and more people on with affiliate services. But there is nothing stronger than if it's not a personal account question with very specific personal details. There is nothing more powerful than that support community. Alex, will you just give them the link?
Sure. The link is zekesupport.zekerewards.com, and you must have valid login credentials in order to access the support community.
Awesome. And then Peter Mingles is here, because I heard him before. You're here, right, Pete?
Peter's right here.
Okay. Now, Peter has just received the honorary, what is it? It's the Training and Incentives Coordinator legacy. And what he is about to do is not only go ahead and, masterfully handle all of the training calls with Alex that these guys have been doing, building, by the way, a call volume from like a couple hundred people to over 1,000 each and every single day that come at 4 o'clock every afternoon just to hear what these guys have to say and get their questions answered and learn, and from truly a sales training master. And when Peter came to me and asked me, is there anything I can do to help, I said there is nothing more brilliant than what you've got in your company in sales training. Would you be willing to do this for Zeke? So he's been commissioned, shall we say, given the tools and the backing and the plea from the company to not only go ahead and rock out more training for us, but to to train the trainers and create the trainer certification course. And he's actually raised his hand and accepted the challenge. And that's going to be rocking out really, really soon, and you'll hear about places that you can go in your local areas, and he's going to go, I think Alex is going to be going with him sometimes. I'll be going with him, with these guys sometimes, depending on the group size, to go ahead and come to wherever we can go ahead and do in the regions. We'll start in America, of course, to train you guys and give you the opportunity, meaning the all of the collaterals that you need, the scripts and every bit of training, so that you'll be able to go ahead and actually do the Zeek presentations from a certified trainer's perspective. So he's got a lot on his plate right now, but I know that it's what everybody's waiting on. So, and everybody that I've introduced so far has a lot on their plate that you're all counting on them for, but we're really super excited about that. And then we have Mr. Ken Kilby, and I got to tell you a little bit about Ken, because Ken is just cool. You know, I know he's the company cop, but he's actually the company teddy bear. I love this guy. And when him and I met, his background was law, and he just had just an incredible, incredible background. And I read the resume, and I'm like, okay. And Greg's the one who brought him on board, and then I met Ken. And, I used to work as an EMT, and I worked with a lot of people on the police force and the fire departments. And I just had this vision in my mind of, Joe MLM cop. And then I met Ken, and I found out that he has a love for law, and he has a love for compliance, but he has such an amazing love for people. And that when somebody ends up on the phone with Ken, if they've, veered off the beaten path and the approved path, he's an educator and a support system. He's not the guy to fear, because he really does want to help you, knowing that those things are normally just based on somebody not knowing that they were doing the wrong thing. And he's also the guy that has your back if somebody is. So I just want you to know that I sleep a whole lot better knowing that Ken Kilby is here and mentoring my son, who's the assistant director of compliance, who's learning things that under him and Greg that I've never seen anything like, the kind of education these guys give and the kind of care and the kind of love that they have for their job. So, Ken Kilby, will you talk a little bit about yourself for a minute?
Sure, I'd be happy to, Dawn.
Thanks.
It's really good to be here tonight and talk to everybody, and it's been really a blessing. I'm from this part of the country, in this part of North Carolina. I was away many, many years, and part of that time I was with the state of Missouri as an investigator. My last several years was with the Attorney General's office out of Springfield, Missouri, working as a fraud investigator, and also I did violent crime prosecutions. Before that, I was with another division in the state of Missouri doing violent crime with the Public Defender's Office. And before that, I was a private investigator in Springfield, Missouri. So I've got a total of about 22 years investigations under my belt. I'm retired military. Was a military police officer for 9 years, and 7 of those years I was as an instructor teaching military police tactics, military law, working with prisoners of war and that sort of thing, and just loved it. I got too old to be a soldier, so that's when I retired. But then before that, I did intelligence work for the Army, and there is such a thing as military intelligence. I did that for almost 14 years, and I was really blessed to live all over the world doing that. I'm back to Winston-Salem area in North Carolina, working in Lexington, and it's a family. And I was just really, really shocked when I walked into the office and started meeting everybody, and how wonderful Paul and Dawn and Greg and everybody's been, and everybody's coming along since. And we're just, like I said, we're family, and we're all a team. And so I'm just really happy and proud to be on the team with all you guys. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you so much. Danny, I know you never, ever leave your keyboard. Do you have anything that you would like to say? Because of all of the people who deserves great honor and true respect from every single person on this team, and I know we talk about it, and maybe we don't talk about it enough to you and in front of you, but you are not just my family, but you are truly my hero. You have created a masterpiece in technology, and there's an awful lot of people all over the world who are blessed because of your brilliance. So I just want to thank you personally. And if you have anything that you would like to just say a little bit about this program or this project or you or anybody, please chime in.
Well, I have to say, I've learned a lot about this project. I mean, a lot of people in this project as well. And every time, I talk to somebody and they tell me about how it's changed their lives, it really affects me. It's an incredible project, and all the people who I deal with every day, who I talk to, care about everything, and they care about everyone involved and all the people. They want to solve the problems that people bring up to them, and so do I, basically. One of the problems that I have is just the general lack of time, and I am so appreciative that Josh Galloway is there to pick up some of that slack. So what can I say? I'm thankful. Thank you,
absolutely. Everybody. Thanks, Dan. And Peter, I was going on and on and on about all the things you were going to do, but I would like for you to talk just a little bit about your vision for this.
Sure. Well, a lot of people hear from me on the 4 o'clock call, so I'll just recommend that those people come in and listen to the 4 o'clock call, or Alex is doing a fantastic job recording those calls. But let me kind of share with you what I think just happened with this company over the last couple of months. Dawn, you've done an amazing thing. You took the role of a COO's position, and if people had the opportunity to actually see this as it happened, they would be absolutely flat out amazed. If you gave me another comparison and you said, compared to what? Could you show me one other company that ever did anything like this ever with the limited staff of people they started off with? The answer would be, I've never seen anything like this before, and I don't think it's ever been done. So you took over the acting role, and as a compliment to you, you weren't replaced by a person. You were replaced by teams of people. So if you really start to take a look at that, it's amazing. Dan did the same thing basically from the programming department. Alex and Roger, they did the same thing. And the cool thing about it was Paul gave you the reins to say, go out there and build it. And you held on tight enough as you needed to develop the program, and then you were smart enough to let go and find the right people like the CFO, the CTO, and the new acting COO. And now you've had the opportunity to be able to let go with competent people. So what does that all really mean to the people on the call? You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. When you take a look at what this company is going to do now that Dawn, you're handling marketing, and that guys like Josh and Greg can handle their own departments and have teams of people, if you take a look at the growth you've had so far, which I think has been world record setting, just wait. And you're a threat in a positive way for a lot of other people because you guys are so attractive. So I'm just really blessed to be kind of part of that whole thing as the sales trainer. And I know that this is a great bunch of people. They're transforming lives. It's never been done before. If you could see it as it's happening, it's absolutely magical. And for any disbelievers, all you really have to do is go to one of those red carpet events. There was never an event for this company before. I think you did the first one in March or April or May, I don't remember. But a couple of people at the local golf club, they had chicken pot pie on styrofoam plates, and that was like classic because that's so Paul. Paul is more concerned about everyone else than he ever is about himself. He's more concerned of everybody else before it's concerned of him. I was having a conversation with some people at one of the red carpet events, and I said, I'm totally amazed at the individual, how humble everyone is in this organization, how they really go to work for the affiliates and the distributors and everybody else in the business. And I said something that maybe I shouldn't have said, but I'll repeat it here anyway. I said I'd be surprised if the guy bought socks. And when I said that, the people that were listening said, yeah, that's probably what he's doing with all his money. He's buying stocks. And I said, no, you put a T where it doesn't belong. I think the guy probably splurged and he bought socks. I mean, I knew he bought maybe a shirt or a tie for the event, but he's just about as real as it gets. And when you combine the Cracker Jack staff, that's the hard workers that they are, with the good, solid people with the integrity that they have, and the other people that attract, plus forget about the affiliates that are on the phone and the field leadership, Dom, this is magical. I mean, this is magical. I don't know if it'll ever happen again the same way, but you're transforming lives with the other people on the phone like I've never seen. So for those people that might have never heard this before, join us on the 4 o'clock calls. Come to the red carpet events. Get to Nashville. Get to Nashville. And when you can put out a bulletin that says red carpet event tickets are going to go on sale at 12 o'clock, and by 12:15 it's done. That's amazing.
Yeah, Peter, I got to tell you, the first time I met Krista, she's actually been heading up the red carpet events as the event coordinator, and she's helping Darlene, who's come on board to handle Nashville. And the first time I met her, she looked at me when I said, "Well, what's the biggest venue they've got in Opryland?" And she said, "Is this your first event?" And I'm like, "Well, we've done these lunches, and how many people can we fit in Opryland? Because Paul really wants it in Opryland. It's his favorite place." And she's like, "Well, I think we can fit 12,000." And I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna be tight though. They're gonna sell out really fast." And she looked at me, and it might not have been her, but when she saw the tickets going on sale, I got a comment that it's like you guys sell out like a Lady Gaga concert. And I'm like, we have really amazing, loyal, good people who are really excited about what we do. Nashville is going to be epic. We've got, I think, maybe 1,500, maybe a few more VIP level tickets. And last time they'll be offered in a group setting will be the privilege to get to the August red carpet event. And then it's going to go wide open on the net, and everybody's going to be able to go ahead and participate, but we're going to sell out, I guarantee, within a day. Well, I don't guarantee. I guess. It is my bet. Less than 24 hours, it's going to be closed. So, we'll keep you guys informed. We'll let you know. It is going to be an incredible event. We've got so many things in store, from my lifelong dream of a masquerade ball on Saturday night and Cirque du Soleil-ish people in the lobbies, and we're working on the entertainment and the speakers and the training. And, guys, it's just going to be an amazing gathering, and we're so excited about it. We've never done it in 13 years that I've been with the company, and it took me 2 years ago, please, Paul, can we have a huge event? It'll be so cool. So I'm really excited about it. So all the people that are here tonight, and if you don't get an opportunity, if you didn't get tickets to Red Carpet, set your sights on Nashville. Make sure, if you're interested in volunteering, make sure you write into interviews@zeeklers.com. That's going to be done. We haven't figured out how we're going to choose the volunteers. The people who have been volunteering at Red Carpet, they've already chosen to volunteer. And then when we figure out how many people we need for such a huge event, we will go ahead and get people getting contacted. So just write to interviews@Zeeklers, ask for the application, and we'll go ahead and your name will go into the fishbowl, and we'll figure out who we need and what we need. But you have to have a paid ticket to the event in order to go ahead and request to be a volunteer. And then if you're chosen, you'll get reimbursed, because we don't want anybody to miss out on the event hoping to be a volunteer. But it's just, guys, the fact that I'm even having to say this, because the minute we put it on sale, it's going to sell out, and that you guys are so into your business and into and involved with this community is just, it's a blessing. And like Peter said, it's truly magic, and all we can do is thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and do our best every single day to keep up with what you're doing and to get on top of the 8 ball that occasionally has run us over because of your incredible enthusiasm and skills and sales. And by the way, this coming Tuesday night, we're kicking it off. Okay, so all of the waiting since the last ones we did that were such a massive success, on Tuesday night, our 2 for Tuesdays are back, our premium auctions, and I'm going to be putting the promo up there, but we're kicking it off with a Disney cruise for a family of 4, a Rolex watch, a home office by Apple. We are decking out. If anybody here has been like, gosh, I need to upgrade my technology, I need a better chair, I need this, I need a desk, I need, this thing is sweet. I swear to you, I'm like, I have to go get me one of these. It's a beautiful selection from like the biggest iMac computer and an iPad, and it's really hot. That's my favorite one. And then since nobody actually chose to take home that Kick-In Mustang last time, we're doing a 2012 GT Mustang convertible. So it's going to be really, really awesome. And those are just the next 4 weeks, and not necessarily in that order. The promos are going up. we are going to go ahead and kick it off. There will be some interesting things along the way for affiliate participation, besides the fact that your customers are going to be falling over themselves to go ahead and participate. So we're really excited about everything that's going on and about the growth, the expansion, and the team that's come in to go ahead and make it all happen. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. I don't know if John or any of the other guys from the departments are here, but there's a huge group of people who are all committed to going ahead and taking Zeek to the next level. I don't know if OH and Robert made it. They haven't responded back, but every single time you send out one of your links or give one of those. Oh, they're here. Okay, before we go, you got to talk about the business cards. I ordered mine today, lots and lots of them for everyone here at HQ2, and we're so excited about them and about all of the videos and the new My Mommy Saved the Economy video. So can you guys just give a little bit about all the brilliance that you have brought to the party?
Well, there's certainly been fun, if you don't mind me saying just real quick. It has been amazing to watch red carpets grow from event to event, and it's really a credit to you, Don, and your team. A sellout in 28 minutes. That is amazing. We try to hold a little surprise for each one of the red carpets that we go to, and releasing some kind of a new video. The latest one, like Don mentioned, MyMomSavedTheEconomy.com and .net have been a huge, huge success. We've seen lots of traffic on it, and had a lot of good stories in regards to conversion on that as well. OH, why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about the Zeek printing and how people can let people know about their site.
Sure, I'd be glad to, Robert. Thank you for that. And, it is an amazing time to be with this company. And, we're just honored and blessed. We got a phone call a year and a half ago, and Robert and I had the pleasure of just meeting Dawn. And I knew within 5 minutes, I told Dawn, I said, you're a lady I'm going to enjoy working with. And that's just the way we've rolled ever since. It's been a lot of fun. But we've got so much stuff going on and so many more things coming. Each one of these events gets better and better. And we're just sharpening our pencils and sharpening our knives and fine-tuning everything we're doing. And, what Robert mentioned is this great thing we've got going on. There was a big need to get some kind of business card. We got this asked over and over, can you get me some kind of business card or some kind of sizzle card that I could use to promote and grow my customer base as well as my affiliate base? And so we put together a little something, presented it to Dawn, and she said, I love you, do it. And here you go. It's wide open. You can go to www.zeekprinting.com. It's a really cool interface. You literally build your card right there on the screen, and you can place your order. And they say it's shipping within 2 days, but word has it it's going out within 24 hours in most cases. So, but they do allow this. Ask you to give them at least 2 days to get them shipped out and everything. But the ordering process is streamlined. The production process is almost instantaneous. So. Get your cards ordered. You may want 2 or 3 different types. That's what I find a lot of folks are doing there, because you can get them for different videos that we have put together, different web pages. So it's really great. Go again to ZeekPrinting.com and check it out. And you know what? We look forward to seeing all our friends this month here at Red Carpet. And I tell you what, I'm really excited about our event for Nashville. It is going to be epic, no doubt about it, to see where this company's come from and where it's headed. We are evolving, and we just encourage each and every one of you listening to all of what we're doing tonight to evolve with us and just be flexible and roll, because we are going and not stopping, that's for sure. Dawn, back to you, hon.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I think this is the longest call I've ever done. Usually I wrap it in 7 minutes, and everyone's like, the call's over. So it's because of everybody else that has chosen to join me, and I'm very, very grateful. And guys, it's just a pleasure to work with all of you, and I know that the field is going to see the impact of all of this tenfold. So if anybody has anything, we're just go ahead and pop your comments onto the Zeek Rewards News post to meet the team. And if anyone's interested in knowing more, that's where I posted their bios, and I'm gonna put some additional longer bios up and maybe do some spotlight interviews with everybody. So we've got a lot of neat stuff in store, because I can actually focus on doing things like spotlight interviews. So it's going to be very cool. and you'll have an opportunity to meet them even further. I thank you all so much for turning out for this call, and please go ahead and make sure that all the people who couldn't get on, that have been knocking on the door saying that the call's full for an hour, that you make sure that they get a link and that you plug your people in so that they truly know the people behind all that is Zeek. And thank you so much, and we will talk to you again soon. Bye now.